What's up, everyone? You are watching Cannell Games, and this is episode 17 of our Lower League Football Manager Save. And we have a little bit of stuff to cover before we get into our final matchup of the season against Plumpton Athletic. And yes, of course, it did come down to the last game of the season. Despite our good form, the amount of draws kind of caught up to us. And Plumpton Athletic, you can see, has had a really good season in their own right with only the 2 defeats. Now, I say it comes down to the last season. We technically haven't clinched because I guess theoretically, if Plumpton really thrashes us, it could ruin our goal differential and they'll catch us, but I don't think it's likely to happen. But we're going to play the game anyway and really make it official whether or not we are league champions. But let's recap some of the games since we last spoke in our last episode, where we defeated East Row 2-0 in the Malins Challenge Cup semifinal. We followed that up with a very convincing 6-1 victory over Willingdon Athletic, who is also from Division 5, in the Mid-Sussex Junior Cup final. So we will have 2 cup finals, and I think we'll do a nice doubleheader in our next episode that will really put a final stamp on our 3rd season together, and we'll transition into the 6th division of the Mid-Sussex Football League. So let's take a look at this 6-1 victory first. Not a whole lot to talk about, to be entirely honest. We were up 4-0 before Graham Stenning scored for Willingdon. Elton McKendy, signing who hasn't played very much for us this season, has sort of taken a back seat to Joe Harrison. However, of course, Joe Harrison got hurt yet again, and Elton McKendy has been in our lineup, and I'm actually going to show you one of his goals from a recent game because he's actually been playing really, really well for us. And Joe Harrison is healthy again, but I don't think I can sit Elton McKendy. You can see over his 10 appearances, 4 starts, 6 off the bench. He has a 7.35 rating with 2 goals and 2 assists, 1 man of the match performance, which is thanks to his very, very impressive strike that we're going to look at in just a couple minutes. But that was that game. It was pretty one-sided and not a whole lot to talk about, but it did put us into 2 separate cup finals. So we do have the opportunity at winning the treble, although it's a 20th tier of England treble, so I don't think it's anything to really celebrate all too much, but it's still impressive nonetheless. In this one, against Handcross Village, to finally get rid of all the draws in the league, we did get a convincing victory to follow up that 6-1 victory against Handcross Village. We won 4-0. Nathan Randall with a goal, Matthew Clark with a brace, and then 1 own goal in between those. 20 shots in total, 11 on target. It was a fairly dominating performance, and I was very happy with the club for how they played in that match. We then went back to a draw against Ditchling, and if we were able to win this game, I don't know if I'd be even showing you this. We may have just jumped ahead to the cup final, but we tied Ditchling 1-1, and that was a little bit disappointing. Fairly boring. We did have our fair share of chances, but I am going to show you Elton McKendy's goal because it is actually really, really impressive, at least for, the low level of play that I've become accustomed to lately. So let's take a look at this one in 3D, of course. Let's get like a nice impressive angle on it. No, I don't want that one. I want something really... what was the one that it showed? Oh, where is it? I don't know. Whatever the replay was where it showed it actually like live, but whatever. We'll just play it here. So it gets launched forward, it drops, and then McKendy just steps right into it and just drills it. We should watch that one again. Let's watch that one again. So Martin lobs it forward. Randall's looking to run onto it, gets deflected back. McKendy just steps up on it and drills it into the bottom right corner. Has a little bit of curve on it outside the stretch of the keeper. Made him man of the match, certainly the play of the match, the goal of the match, and maybe a candidate for goal of the year because obviously that 1 point is pretty significant because if we do lose to Plumpton Athletic today, that single point that he salvaged for us there could be the difference between division champions or second place. Still earning promotion, but second place nonetheless. We followed that up with a pretty clean and tidy 2-0 victory over Jarvis Brook. Nathan Randall scored in the 2nd minute, and then once again in the 72nd minute. Pretty, not overly impressive goals, I guess, but he finds a way to put them in the back of the net with a lot of consistency. And let's just emphasize that, because we have been talking quite a bit about Matthew Clark this season, and for good reason. If we look at Matthew Clark, he has 21 goals and 27 appearances. The 12 in cup competitions is obviously really impressive. But if we go back and take a look at Nathan Randall, he has 15 in the league, 15 goals in 17 league matches, has a league rating of 7.59. He's had a really, really strong season for us. He has 23 goals in all competitions across 27 appearances, 9 assists, a 7.61 rating, and he is far and away our leading scorer in club history over our 3 years. Obviously, we had Ryan Salmon, Matthew Clark had a good season last year, but Nathan Randall obviously scored more goals, and both of them have absolutely exploded this season. Both of them tallying over 20 goals, which no one else in the club has been able to reach in our first 2 seasons. So having 2 20-plus goal scorers in the same season has been really impressive for us. So today we're going to be jumping into the game against Plumpton Athletic, and I will go over our starting 11 with you. Not all that many changes or surprises. We're sticking with pretty much the exact same team, but the lone exception being the insertion of Elton McKendy into our starting 11. So we'll go over sort of our shape and what that looks and what type of role he plays and how he sort of fits into our starting 11, because he does fill a completely different role than Joe Harrison. And we'll sort of take a look at that and discuss it very quickly before we jump into the match. So you can see our starting 11 here. No surprises up top. Nathan Randall, Matthew Clark. Matt Sargent, I expected him to feature a lot more this season. Not a terrible player, but he never really got going. He only scored the 1 goal for us, but most of his appearances were off the bench. In 13 finishing, I expected a little more from him, but Matthew Clark and Nathan Randall have done so well, he didn't really get the time to really find his footing, so I can't really be all that upset with him. Joe Harrison, I'm probably going to put him on to the bench somewhere, maybe for Matt Sargent, because I never substitute my strikers. Across the midfield, we have Elton McKendy, Ollie Hotchkiss, Reese Hayes, and Connor Martin. Elton McKendy is a little more well-rounded defensively and offensively than Joe Harrison. Doesn't have the same physicals as him, but you'll notice that he is also right-footed on the left side. So I play him in sort of this wide midfielder position, and what tends to happen is he drifts in a little bit, and then as you saw with the 1 goal, it's sort of cutting in, although that was hit first time, obviously. But the other goal he scored, he did cut in a little bit and then hit it off his right foot. Sort of like a very, very, very poor man. Almost like a homeless man's Arjen Robben, okay? So that's sort of how he's filled his role over there. He does cross the ball in a little bit, but he's sort of drifting in, so we almost have 3 midfielders in the center, and then our wide play is almost restricted to Connor Martin on the right side, which is okay. Lewis Gibson has also been whipping in some crosses as well. He sort of pushes up to fill that gap that McKendy leaves as he cuts in. So it's working out well for us thus far. I'll put him in there. So we have some alternatives on the bench here. Joe Harrison, Christian Hampson, who's only had 2 appearances off the bench for us. Brett Walker, who's been featuring almost exclusively off the bench. You can see only the 1 start. Joe Lynch and Jack Lynch. Everyone's been pretty happy except for Jack Lynch. He wants to have some first-team football, but I don't know where to fit him in right now. I expected him to maybe replace Hotchkiss, but Hotchkiss has played so well for us this season that I see no reason to replace him. You can see everyone in our starting 11 has a rating over 7, except for our keeper, 6.95, but that's still really good. Across the back line, we have Lewis Gibson, Ryan Hutchinson, Jack Humphrey, and Logan Jeffs, with, of course, Lee Ashton in goal, who does have the club record for clean sheets, with 8 this season in the league, and then 4 in the cup competition, so he's done really well for us. But I think, again, that is probably playing more into our good play from our center backs especially, and then also our other defenders like Logan Jeffs and Lewis Gibson. But Jack Humphrey does have the 3rd highest rating in the league, so he's been very good for us. No tactical changes, so we're going to jump right into this one against Plumpton Athletic with the league title on the line. So this game has started weird. For the first minute or so, there's been no players on the pitch whatsoever. Here we go. So here we are in the final match game of the season with everything on the line, although not all that tense. We do have a significant goal differential advantage. Plumpton will really need to they'll really need to hammer us to surpass us. So we're fairly comfortable, but it would be nice to get that win and have like a nice 6-point cushion at the top of the table to really put our stamp on this very successful season that we've had. Only the 1 defeat, a bunch of draws, but only the 1 defeat, the 1 loss in the cup. It's been a very successful season for us. That one just wide from Nathan Randall. Another couple goals from him would be really nice to add to his total. Ollie Hotchkiss, he hasn't scored a nice free kick in a while or at all this season. I can't recall, but he snatches that one a bit over the bar. We're about 20 minutes in, not a whole lot to write home about it. You'd expect, if I was managing Plumpton, I'd be really pushing forward, obviously, because they do need to score a bunch, although they have a good chance here, but Ashton comes out to claim that one. But maybe the AI is just playing, they're not playing to think about goal differential. I don't know the intricacies of the AI's management techniques like that, so we may have a little bit of an attack here. Ollie Hotchkiss has some space in the middle, sort of holds up the ball, plays it over to Elton McKendy, who has some space, cuts into the middle, gives it back to Hotchkiss. Hotchkiss gives it to Hayes with some room outside the box. Moving towards the box here, Hotchkiss plays it into McKendy. McKendy on his wrong foot, though, puts it well wide. It would have been better if he was able to draw that back across goal to Nathan Randall. But some good ball movement results in nothing there, unfortunately. Nathan Randall flicks that on net, but not enough pace, and Kingdon is able to gather that up cleanly for Plumpton. We do have the bulk of the chances thus far. This drops to Hutchison. Hutchison takes a shot, but it is saved by Kingdon. We do get a corner, though, and we'll see Matthew Clark swing this one in. Hopefully someone can get on the end of it, but it doesn't get past the first man, Griffiths. It does come back to Clark, who's able to play it back to Hotchkiss. Hotchkiss is able to step into it, but plays it off to McKendy. McKendy forces it back to Hotchkiss. Jack Humphrey playing with it outside the box, trying to probe into the Plumpton Athletic defense. Hayes is getting forced back a little bit. Is able to switch it over to Hotchkiss, who has some space. Steps up towards the box, plays it out to McKendy. McKendy into the box, but is cleared there by Wallace. McKendy is able to wrap it up, and his cross looks like it was on his left foot again. There's a reason why it says he's right only on his attributes page. He is not good with his left foot whatsoever. So with a fairly boring first half, we're still in a good position. I would say a very, very comfortable position to win the league and clinch the league. But again, let's hope we can find a goal and that this isn't a boring 0-0 draw. There's been a couple too many boring matches that I've shown you guys so far this season, which is a little disappointing. This one played forward to Clark. Clark has the ball. Nice little through ball, but Randall just misses out. Bond does a good job to sort of, body him off the ball and knock that away. Now this is disappointing. Oh, but this is in Plumpton. So Plumpton Athletic, they have 10 fans in attendance with the league title on the line. No away support, it looks like. You'd hope that some away fans would travel to see us win. We have had some decent attendance this season, but we never matched the 100 that we had, I think, first game of the season, or one of the first games of the season. We had an attendance of 100, and we've never been able to match that so far this season, which has been a bit disappointing. And our finances have actually begun to suffer a little bit. We have dropped down. We were up around 17,000. I think we're down to about 11,000, 10,000 now, which is too bad. I think what we're going to do, is yes, we're going to bring on Joe Harrison. And that's it. Sorry, McKendy. I was hoping for another wonder goal so you guys could see him in action, but it just didn't really happen for us. Connor Martin here with the foul. I may bring in Christian Hampson. No, he does not get a yellow. So Joe Harrison, maybe a little more conventional left winger, can sort of, cross some into the box there, and either Connor Martin on the far post or one of our strikers can pick it up and do something with it. Reese Hayes is getting a little tired. We'll bring in Brett Walker for his 16th or 17th appearance from the bench this season. Griffiths could be getting sent off, and that'll give us 10 minutes to push for a goal, but he's just warned. Not a whole lot of time. The clock is sort of just dwindling down and flying by. Hotchkiss has the ball, plays it forward. Randall is clear on goal. Can he put it away? Yes, he does. And that will seal it for us very cleanly. A very strong 6-point cushion at the top of the table with 5 minutes to play. The league was never really in doubt for this one, so not all that much drama compared to the last couple of seasons. But it's nice to get that goal and really cement our place at the top of the table. And if you just look at the goal differential, it's been very clear that we were the dominant team from start to finish for the most part. Almost went wire to wire. First couple matches of the season, I think we dropped down to second or third place. Maybe even fourth, I can't remember. But we've been solidly entrenched in first place for several weeks now. And that's where we'd like to stay. Or several months, rather. Several match days. And this is just sort of the final success of the season. Although we do have 2 cup matches remaining, so not all is... everything's not done yet. We still have quite a bit that we could win. Although this could be dangerous here. Archer sort of bodies off, but he's offside anyway. But who was that? I think that was Logan Jeffs. He's able to body him off the ball there, and it looked like it could have been dangerous, but he was offside. Hutchison plays it down, but Wheeler is able to grab that up, play it back to the keeper. Time is sort of dwindling down. Hotchkiss plays it wide. Can Martin outpace Griffiths? He cannot, and Griffiths plays it back for a goal kick. Probably had a little... I guess he didn't realize that Martin was peeling off, but he didn't have all that much pressure on him. Joe Harrison can whip this one in. Can't get past Leach, though. Hotchkiss has a lot of space. Plays it back out to Harrison. Harrison plays it back to Hotchkiss. Hotchkiss, top of the box, tries to take a shot. Griffiths is with the block. Gibson grabs the ball, plays it over to Harrison. Harrison on his wrong foot, but he plays it into Martin. Martin just can't get there in time, and that'll be a goal kick. And that should pretty much do it in terms of our offensive opportunities. Although there is a goal kick here, and if we can snatch this one up, which we can't, that one goes out for a throw. And a minute to play, this one's just winding down for us. But a fairly professional performance. We've only allowed one shot on target from Plumpton. We had 7 of our own, so it wasn't really our most impressive offensive performance, I suppose. Wallace fouls Randall there. Not our most impressive offensive performance that we've seen this season, but we got the job done. Hotchkiss just blasts the free kick right off of Walker there and forces Gibson into a foul. But that's going to do it. No harm done, I suppose, and that's full time. We are league champions, comfortably at the top of the table. 6-point lead. We did what we needed, and that will sort of put the final touches on our 3rd regular season in the Mid-Sussex Football League, this time in Division 7. We will be moving up to Division 6 next year, continuing 3 consecutive promotions. But all is not done yet with our 3rd season of this Let's Play. We do have 2 Cup finals to play, and we'll sort of give a little bit of a preview before those, because the next episode I am going to be doing both of those games consecutively, so we will have a bit of a double-header live commentary, which hopefully if we show 2 games, one of them has to be entertaining, right? Like, one of them has to be good, because you missed the 6-1, you missed the 4-0, you missed although the game wasn't that great, you missed McKendy's great strike from outside the box. I did show it to you. I did show it to you today. The 2-0 game was okay. The second half was a little bit better, but we've seen 0-0. We've watched 0-0 draws together. We've watched 1-1 draws together. We saw this 1-0 victory, but we did win the league, so that's great. 2nd consecutive season that we've won. You can see Nutley, poor Nutley. They do have 1 game left, but they can't get out of the relegation zone, so they will be getting relegated back to Division 8. So they got promoted with us, and we're going in opposite directions. We can continue the winning tradition. The board is pleased, so that's good. 62%, apparently. That's all I get. 62% for winning the league. You know, no big deal. Randall plays well for us, and that sort of pretty much puts a cap on the end of that season. So our next 2 matches are in the Cup, as I already said. So we do play against Barcombe. Barcombe is from Division 8, so we should be the favorites in that one. In the Mid-Sussex Junior Cup, we should be able to hopefully win that one. The elusive Mid-Sussex Junior Cup. We've been in that Cup competition every single season. I don't think we've made it to a final yet, and so it will be nice to win this one for the first time. The Maylands Challenge Cup, obviously we've never played in this one before, so it'd be nice to win this one in our first Cup appearance in this one. We are playing East Grinstead Town, their C squad. They are in Division 6, so into the division that we are moving into, but I'm not all that worried about that one. So my expectations are that we should win both of those, and we should hopefully win the treble to put a great sort of conclusion to this season. So I have to simulate a little bit ahead, but that'll be in the coming days. I'll get ahead, sort of wrap up some of the end of the season stuff, and we'll do a live commentary of both of these Cup final matches and do a quick little season recap, look at the team of the year, the best 11 for the club. Let's see what the goal of the year is. There's been a couple candidates this season. There's been actually a pretty good effort from the team, and sort of give just a general recap of this very successful season. You can see only these 2 red blemishes. One in the Parsons Challenge Cup, knocked out in the very first round. And then, that wasn't the one we won last year. What was the cup that we won last year? It doesn't matter. But only those 2 defeats sort of were the only little damper on our almost perfect season. This little run of draws was a little concerning, but we came together and had a very good conclusion to the season. We were able to secure not only promotion, but the division title. So our next episode, as I said, will have these 2 Cup finals, but that'll be in the coming days, depending on how busy I get. I am going to be going back to work soon, so the almost daily videos may have to be put on hold. We may have to go to a every other day or 2-3 a week or something like that. We'll see how things go. But if you did enjoy this episode, please subscribe to the channel or leave a like on this video. And don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you're thinking of the series so far. It really, I really enjoy interacting with you guys who leave comments. So please keep doing that. And if you haven't left a comment yet, what are you waiting for? Let's have a little back and forth. Tell me why this is a waste of my time. Or tell me what I should be doing to make this club even better moving forward, or other things that you'd like me to talk about. So, as always, I'll speak to you next time.